Let's talk about something that most high achievers won't say out loud. That quiet fear that somehow you don't really belong. That someone's going to find out you're not as capable as they think. It's called imposter syndrome. And if you've ever felt it, you're not alone. In fact, the people who care the most about doing good work are often the ones who feel it the strongest. Today, we're going to unpack it. Not just what imposter syndrome is, but how to actually overcome it in your day-to-day work. Because you deserve to feel confident in the value you bring. You deserve to show up without constantly second-guessing yourself. Let's start here. 1. Imposter syndrome isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're growing. Let that sink in. Imposter syndrome shows up not when you're coasting, but when you're stretching. New job, new responsibilities, working around people you admire. That discomfort, that fear of being found out. It's your brain reacting to growth. So instead of saying, I must not belong, try saying, this is what stretching feels like. Reframe the signal. It's not a red flag. It's proof you're moving forward. 2. You're not alone. Even the smartest people you know feel it. Here's something wild. Many incredibly talented people have talked openly about feeling like imposter. If they can feel it and still show up, so can you. Imposter syndrome doesn't disappear just because you're successful. It's often the byproduct of caring deeply and being aware of your gaps. That's not weakness, that's humility, and that's something you can build confidence on. 3. Self-doubt loves vague standards. So, name your wins. One of the reasons imposter syndrome sticks around is because your success is blurry. You downplay your achievements. You forget how far you've come. So here's the antidote. Track your wins. Keep a running doc, a folder, or a journal. Write down praise, project results, moments where you figured it out when it was hard. This isn't about bragging. It's about evidence. Because when your brain says, I don't know if I'm good enough, you can say, actually, here's proof I've done this before. 4. Comparison will crush your confidence unless you redefine it. One of the fastest ways to feel like an imposter? Scrolling through LinkedIn. Look at them, publishing, speaking, getting promoted. It's a highlight reel. And when you compare your behind the scenes to their polished version, you'll always feel behind. So stop using other people's milestones to measure your own worth. Instead of saying, why don't I have that yet? Ask, what can I learn from how they got there? Turn envy into insight. Turn comparison into curiosity. That's how you stay grounded and growing. 5. Confidence isn't a feeling. It's a practice. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. But real confidence is built after you act. You do the hard thing. You survive it. You realize you are more capable than you thought. So if you're waiting for the fear to disappear before you speak up in that meeting, you'll be waiting forever. Speak up while you're still nervous. Try before you feel ready. You'll be surprised what happens. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move anyway. 6. Talk about it. Imposter syndrome thrives in silence. When you keep your doubts hidden, they grow. But the moment you say, hey, I'm struggling with this, It breaks the illusion. You realize you're not the only one, so find someone you trust. A manager, a mentor, a peer. Say it out loud. You'd be shocked how often they'll say, "Yeah, me too." And suddenly, the fear loses its power. 7. Focus on contribution over perfection. Imposter syndrome whispers, "You have to be flawless." But that's not why you were hired. You were hired to solve problems, to add value, to think, not to have every answer, but to ask great questions. So instead of trying to be the smartest person in the room, try being the most helpful. Shift the focus from "how do I look" to "how can I contribute?" That small shift rewires everything. 8. Remember, you're already someone's example. You might not feel ready, but someone is looking at you thinking, "I want to be where they are." Even if you don't see your own progress, someone else does. You've already made moves that your past self would be proud of. So keep going. You don't need to feel 100% ready. You just need to be willing to show up. Final thought. You are more qualified than you feel. You don't need to become someone else to belong. You don't need to perform your way into feeling worthy. You're allowed to feel nervous and still be the right person for the job. You're allowed to ask for help and be highly capable. You're allowed to not know everything and still be taken seriously. Imposter syndrome is just a sign you care, a sign you're growing. So stop waiting to feel like an expert before you show up. You're already enough. Right now, as you are, even with the nerves, even with the doubt. Show up anyway, because someone out there is waiting on your voice, your leadership, your work, exactly as it is. Thanks for listening. If this hit home, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to step out of doubt and into their full potential. I'll see you in the next one.